Yes, people, and welcome back to another video on the Bridge YouTube channel where we bring you all things Chelsea. I'm your host with the most, the Bridge 258, here to give you around about a week's sum up of the latest Chelsea news. Here we go. So let's get started. This came out of Miguel Delaney of the Independent, and he basically said that Chelsea have got some sort of new transfer policy essentially. So it's going to be heavily based on Pochettino now, and like sort of he's got a bigger say in regards to who he would like in the team or not, and like the process goes as such. So Pochettino will identify a position and a tactical need for a certain position or player that he needs. With Stanley, Stewart, and Joe Shields will then go out and find out a number of names. They will then collectively, with Pochettino having the final decision, come up with the right player that they will choose to go out and then buy. So it'll be like they'll have like a A, B, C tier essentially. We'll get A. If we cannot get A, then we'll have this B. But essentially, we'll have the number one target just like that, and Pochettino will have his final say on it. Now, to be honest, one thing I've been a bit confused about is that I thought there was already a collaborative process going on where, you know, there were already ideas going through in regards to what positions were needed already previously, and that they're already collaborating and had given their different points. So I'm not sure what has changed. Are we saying that the guys that we bought, whether it be a Disasi, whether it be else did we buy this season, Nicholas Jackson, for example, were they not like Poch signings essentially? Are you saying that Poch didn't really give like an okay to those guys at all? So, you know what I'm saying? That's something you need to ask. Then Cole Palmer, like, did he not give the okay to that too? Because, like, I thought he, from what we were hearing, he was happy to take Cole Palmer. So, is that something that where he was not given a final say in regards to the matter at all? So, again, you know, these are questions that you need to ask. You know, they're valid questions at the end of the day, that's for sure. So, we'll see, you know, whether or not these come to any fruition at all. So, at the end of the day, he's been given more power. That's for sure. We'll see what happens there at the end of the day. But I'm quite surprised by that news, because I thought he already had some level of power to begin with. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I wasn't understanding maybe the way that the process was going on previously per se. Because I knew that he probably didn't have a say on like the guys were like Angelo Gabriel. I'm pretty sure didn't have a say on that one. David Washington, no. Who else did we buy? There was like a bunch of other guys that he brought, like Leslie Ugochukwu. I'm pretty sure that's probably not his signing. I'll be real, that's probably a club signing. Andre Santos, we knew he brought them previously in January. So, you know, there's a number of players we already bought previously who we know that the club have sort of signed for the future, where they can hopefully integrate into the squad later on. So I understood those ones, but I thought some of the first team signings, Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, who else? Caicedo, you know, those ones. I thought he would have been more than he would have definitely had a say on those ones as well. So that's all I'm saying. But we'll see, man, going forward. But let's see what he brings up, because if I hear Lautaro Martinez is one of his options for striker, yeah, I'm cancelling his pass. I'm cancelling the pass automatically if I hear Lautaro Martinez is his number one striker option. That's all I'm saying right now. There's no doubts about that. If I hear Lautaro Martinez, Poch, we're revoking that one. You know what? The lads can handle that one. I'll let the data analysts handle that one still. That's what I'm saying. But let's move on now to the next topic, which Miguel Delaney also continues on, which is on Ivan Toney. Apparently, the club is very much heavily into him, and there he's probably one of their number one targets in regards to the striker position. Arsenal are still monitoring the situation. Apparently, they haven't made a move yet per se, from what we're hearing so far. And he's apparently changed like agencies, but he's kept the same agents. So I'm not sure how that works as well. You know, keeping the same agents, but you've changed the different agents. Did they like merge or something like that? Possibly, we don't know. But at the end of the day, Ivan Toney is still the number one target. Obviously, Fabrice is reporting a bit more about Victor Osimhen. He's a real possibility, whether it be in January or in the summer. The problem with Victor Osimhen, and I'll say this before, is that, again, I like Victor Osimhen as a striker. He's clearly doing well. He's got 6 goals in 8 appearances in Serie A this season. He's been he plays well. The thing for me, he's fox in a box, and I like that. I like that ability. I like the fact that he's deadly when he's in the box. But the problem is, I need the striker to be at least in some way helping up in somewhat of the attacking build-up play. Because if he's not, you know, scoring, for example, if he's not able to score, I need him to have some other secondary, tertiary ability that he's somewhat good at, that he can at least provide. Whether that be link up play, whether that be having that bit of strength, to back up, get the ball, hold on to the ball, side pass to that winger, to the midfielder that's in front of him, or like reverse it behind him. There needs to be some other ability that he needs to have. We can't just be singularly freakishly, like for example, someone like Haaland, for example. Well, Haaland, yes, he's a great striker and everything. He's got like 100 max on the strike, innit? So like him not being as great in his other things doesn't necessarily matter. But like with the other strikers though that you're gonna have, they may not always be able to score. If that's the case, you need them to have the other intangibles to be able to provide something else to the team. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We need for me, I think the best word to use, we need a much more complete number 9. That's the word I would use at the end of the day. So, again, that's why for me, Osimhen, less so over Toney, who I feel like is a bit more complete. When he's not scoring, he can provide other stuff for you. He can pass, he can hold up play. His movement is great. He's able to scare defenders. He has that little, defensive pressure where the defenders are more attracted to him over the other players, which allows your wingers, allows your maybe attacking cam to come in there and to find those spaces and be a bit more deadlier in that goal region as well. So that's why for me, Ivan Toney's the one. Now apparently the rumor is there's a rumor that I think that's going on that he's around about 65 million for sale. Now 65 million, for a striker these days is cheap money. So I'm very surprised that he's going for that. Unless there's like something else that Brighton know, with Osimhen and Toney, unless there's something else pending that we don't know about with him, then letting him go for 65 million is crazy for me personally, from a Brentford perspective. But again, that's what I'm saying to you. Ivan Toney is probably 65 million. If you are to go to Osimhen, who's probably going to be our number 2 option if you don't get him, you're looking at around about 130, 140 million pounds sterling. You've already spent 106 on Enzo, 115 on Caicedo. So are you really going to be spending 130, 140 million on my guy Osimhen when you got someone like Ivan Toney proven on the table? That's something else to consider. There's obviously guys that are also upcoming and about. You got Jimenez, for example, who's playing for Feyenoord, who's another striker. I know there's another one from that I've been hearing about recently from Sporting Lisbon. I can't say his name properly, but he's another one that maybe you might want to think about. He's up and coming. I know the club have been interested in Sesko as well. So what I'm saying to you, there's other options there. But maybe if you want proven, Osimhen's going to cost you 130 to 140, or Ivan Toney's going to cost 65. So unless you outbid Arsenal, which may be what has to happen essentially to get Ivan Toney, probably looking at, if you're going to have to outbid them, probably around about the 80, 85 million range to get him, then that's the only way I can see that happening, to be honest. So we'll see what happens, because we also know that the club are rumored to be looking at now another left back, another centre back too. So continue on that left back train. For example, I know there's like a kid from I think it's Boca Juniors, if I'm not mistaken, in Argentina, who's I forget his name, who Brian was scouting, that apparently the club are now interested in to try to buy to be their new left back. Apparently behind Cucurella because of the Chilwell injuries, who Brighton tried to buy, I think, for around about 10 million, but didn't work out because they wanted more. So that's someone the club is definitely going for. So interesting to see if that happens too. Centre back, we're already hearing about Diomande from Sporting Lisbon. So another one that they've already got planned out. So the club are clearly planning in the future. So are you gonna really have 130, 140 ready for someone like a Victor Osimhen? That's why for me, maybe you're more than likely to see the club try to put in heavy emphasis, heavy pressure to go and get in Ivan Toney, and maybe spend a bit more extra 15 million to the 80 to 85 million range to be able to get him over Arsenal, which is the only way they can basically outbeat Arsenal, I would say, right now. So you'll see what happens there at the end of the day, but there's that. But the final topic I want to talk about, you can see it in the header, is Conor Gallagher. So Conor Gallagher, obviously, I think it's now almost up a year and a half now left on his contract. Apparently, contract talks haven't started yet, but it does seem to be something that's about to start quite soon. The question for me is, do you guys as Chelsea fans want him to be at the club? For me, I've said this before, And I'll say it again, I don't ban Conor Gallagher being at the club. If you get him on a new contract, he understands where he is in the club, that he may not always get the starts, but he can be a strong bench option once Nkuku comes, once he got these other guys comes, and he can lead that team and do what he keeps on doing. Then I think that's a fine deal to be making a contract extension for. I always say this, Conor Gallagher is a strong bench option on any top 6 side for me. You know what I mean? Can come on for the last 30 minutes, can put in that shift. Very good now under Poch, particularly when it comes to interceptions. You know, being good, like being able to win the ball back in that midfield area and then push it forward with the engine that he's got. So listen, man, I'm very happy to see that taking place. You know, you guys know I've always been a big Conor Gallagher fan, so we'll see what happens there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we hear from the club perspective if they keep Conor Gallagher. So we move. And plus, the manager Pochettino is a big fan of him and wants him too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about contract extension for Gallagher quite soon, literally. So there's that. Now that's the video, guys. As usual, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. Tomorrow you will be getting the Chelsea versus Brentford preview. We're facing them actually Saturday 12:30 in the 12:30 p.m. which I'll be doing a live stream for 1 hour earlier, as I do, which is at 11:30 on Saturday as well. Stay tuned. A lot of Chelsea coming in. Here we go. As usual, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. We're losing subscribers. I don't want that to keep on happening. Please, guys, make sure to continue to subscribe. Continue to remain faithful, please. That's all. Thank you very much for watching. I've been your host of the most, the Bridge 258. Dedicate your hearts, and as always, please make sure to stay blue.